Hey guys, Brian here from Vintage Classic Specialist. Happy Monday to everyone. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Here we are, another week full of Volkswagen starting off. So, another mini project, as I'm calling them, which I guess I'm calling anything less than a full restoration a mini project. Came in today, this sand beige 67 Beetle. So let me come back to that one in a little bit. Let me start off with some other projects here. Another actually, all three of these cars today that got worked on are mini projects. So let me start with the beautiful Turquoise 62 right here. So this is a car that this shop has had its hands on many times, and if you watched the episode the other day or the walk around of this car, you know that the car was built in Lenny Kopp's shop, West Coast Classic Restorations. A lot of the work was done by our own Rafa, and then so anyway, he's a customer of ours now, and it came in for a litany of things, mostly small things. So I went ahead and had Rafa go ahead and jump in on this baby today. So some maintenance items. Rafa went ahead and drained the gas. The owner stated that the car hasn't been driven in 8 months, and his concern was that the gas had gone bad, which gas, of course, does. So I started out by draining the gas. Likewise, he asked us to do a brake fluid change. I think it's probably like the original brake fluid in the car from when it was built, maybe, 10 years or so ago. So again, went ahead and drained that, and then pretty much you can drain the reservoir, of course, but then to get it out of the lines, you have to just keep bleeding and bleeding until you get clear fluid out at all four wheels. So a little bit time consuming, but it's the proper way to do it. So yeah, flushed out the entire brake system, drained the oil on the engine and refilled it. Still yet to do a tune-up on the motor, but we'll get to that here. Probably I'll do that. Also, he had stated that the oil in the transmission had also not been changed. Not something that we routinely do, but since he mentioned it and he seemed to be, kind of concerned about it, we just went ahead and did it. Doesn't certainly hurt anything, that's for sure. And so he also stated that the shocks were a little stiff. So this car has Coney adjustable shocks, those kind of reddish orange ones on it, and we just kind of guesstimated where we should set them up. We actually installed those maybe a year and a half or so ago, and apparently we got them a little bit on the stiff side for his taste, so went ahead and pulled all four shocks and backed them off a little bit as far as their stiffness to give him a little bit more of a compliant ride in that regard. Let's see, his running board molding right there had like a little dent in it, and as perfect as this car is, any little flaw like that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. It wasn't a bad dent, and most people probably wouldn't know it, but again, this car is so flawless that any little thing like that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. So yeah, went ahead and replaced the trim on the running board on this side. And then the other thing, which I mentioned the other day, reason that it came in was after we actually installed an adjustable front beam on the car and re-indexed the back and kind of brought the suspension down and gave it a little bit of rake and so on, again, about a year and a half ago when the car was here last. And then after that, he took it to a shop that supposedly specializes in Porsches and VWs. And they put caster shims on the front to increase the caster. And of course, that moved his wheels forward in the wheel arch, and it raised the front of the car some. So he asked us if we could just go ahead and remove those. So Rafa did that today. So I'll go ahead and do an alignment on the car with our alignment tools here before it leaves the shop and see where that all is. But yeah, caster shims on a car that's level or even has a tiny bit of rake, in my opinion, are just not necessary. I may go ahead and measure the caster on the car also while I'm doing an alignment just to see where it's at, but in my experience, not really necessary on a car that's more or less level. When you have a car that has a lot of rake, like say a cowlook car, then absolutely it can be necessary, especially on a link pin car where you can't really adjust any caster into it. Was I saying camber earlier? Caster is what I'm talking about right now. But anyway, yeah, so we'll check all that out. And then the other thing was a original, I don't know what brand this is off the top of my head, and my eyes are too bad to read. There's a little symbol there. But anyway, yeah, an original, very, very nice mirror. The mirror that he had on here before got damaged somehow, I think probably in transport to or from our shop last time it was in. So he rounded up another really nice original mirror and had us install that. So I think those are kind of the main things that we did on this car today, kind of working our way through his list. Again, the car sat for like 8 months, so I am reasonably sure that all the gas evaporated from the carburetors. It has dual cadrons on it. The motor is an 1835. I will probably go ahead and pull his carburetors and disassemble them, clean them. I'm sure they're gunked up from having fuel evaporate in them over the course of 8 months. So I'll go through those and rebuild them as part of the tune-up for the motor. But that is what happened with this one today. So why don't we talk about what I worked on today, and that is this 69 Beetle here. I think it's 69. Yeah. Anyway, so as you can see, the front of the car is back on the ground, which means that I finished putting his brakes and his front beam and everything else together. So let's see here. Let's take a look at that. There we go. So, yeah, I put the rest of this all together today. I did shorten the long tie rod a little bit. I cut a little bit off one end, and to give us the basically extra 1 inch narrower, the beam versus the beam that was in here. And so the short one had enough adjustment in it. The long one didn't necessarily, so I cut about 1/2 inch off this one. And then the other one, I just adjusted it in. So kind of like bench it, narrowed each of those by about 1/2 inch, and then went ahead and installed them on the car. And then just did like a quick, kind of eyeball alignment to get the wheels pointed more or less straight with the steering box and the steering wheel centered. So of course I'll do a more detailed alignment on it, once I get to that point. But yeah, went ahead and installed and connected his master cylinder there. We're going to use the original style reservoir instead of the one that plugs onto the top of the master cylinder, because frankly those really suck if you need to ever check or fill your brake fluid, which you really shouldn't, but it's nice to be able to check on it every once in a while, because leaks can develop. And if it's basically impossible to check it without jacking the car up and pulling the wheel, I think it probably just doesn't get done as much as it should. So did that, formed 2 new brake lines here for the front, that one and that one there, the ones that were in here. This one was I don't know what, it wasn't the right length one. It was way too long, so it kind of went past the master cylinder and then curved back to it. Kind of goofy looking, so the owner had already bought the hard brake line set, so I pulled those 2 out of the set and went ahead and formed and installed those. Steering damper went back in. His steering damper felt fine as far as, still damping. So, yeah, the front end of this car is basically back together now. So tomorrow we'll probably continue working on this car. And the next thing that I'm going to do is to get the back of the car up in the air and pull the rear drums and inspect the rear brakes. And then I'll probably go ahead and install, he has with the car some stainless steel braided brake lines for the rear of the car in addition to the ones that he got for the front kit. So while I'm back there and the whole system needs to be bled anyway, I'll probably go ahead and install these on there. It's kind of a no-brainer if I'm already going back there and inspecting everything. He already purchased these, so might as well put them on. But yeah, once I go through and inspect the rear brakes, hopefully everything's okay with them, swap those lines out, then it's pretty much a matter of bleeding the brakes, and I'll put the gas tank back in. And I think he said he wanted me to go ahead and check the tune on it as well, so we'll see about that. I noticed it was popping a little bit at idle, so it could just be like an idle mixture adjustment thing, or probably something relatively simple like that. But yeah, I'll give the motor a quick once over as far as, you know, syncing the carbs and that kind of stuff. So yeah, this car should be done here in the next day or so. So let's get back to this beauty over here, Sand Beige 67. This is a car that I did a pre-purchase inspection of for the owner. Her and the previous owner came by the shop with it. I spent maybe an hour, I don't remember, an hour or two kind of crawling around the car, checking things. The prospective owner, who's the owner now, prospective owner at the time, and I took it out for a good drive, got it up on the freeway. Car felt great. You know, there are some minor things with the car, but I felt like for the price he was asking and for what the owner was looking at, I thought it was a very reasonable deal. However, now she has brought it into us for a number of things just to make it that much better. So the headliner on this car was in really good shape as far as not having any tears or so on. However, it looked like at some point the car had very leaky window seals because the headliner had a lot of water stains, especially kind of up on this back section of the roof and kind of all back around here. So just really ugly, actually. Again, the material was in great condition as far as not having any tears. It looked like it was installed nicely. Didn't have any, you know, wrinkles or anything, but those water stains were just kind of killing it. And then the carpet kit in the car was also pretty ugly. I don't know where it came from, and it did have like full carpet on the floors and so on. So she wanted new carpet in here, so we went ahead and got German scory carpet in charcoal, which we felt like would go good with her seats. I think these are not the right seats for this car. These are probably out of like maybe a 65 or something, but they do have basket weave, which is more or less correct for this car. Well, basket weave is correct, not necessarily in this pattern that these are stitched, but black is also not right. This car should have, I think there was a few options, but one of which I think was basically brown, would have been brown basket weave. But I think she's more or less happy with her seats and the condition that they're in, and we're doing carpet. So we're just going to go ahead and put in the charcoal colored carpet because it kind of goes with the seats and door panels that she has that she's going to be keeping. So rather than put brown carpet in it, which would look terrible with the black seats and seat panels, we're going to match the carpet to the seats and go with charcoal. So that's going to look really good. But anyway, yeah, so carpet and headliner on this car, and then just a number of other relatively small things. New tailpipes, because these are all rusty and ugly. Her windshield wiper doesn't work. I think that she wanted me to do like maybe an oil change and a tune-up. I don't remember. It's got a little bit of an oil leak. We'll take a look at that. So yeah, just kind of a lot of little things. The big things were really the interior as far as the headliner and the carpet. One other thing. Her window scrapers are toast, very crispy. So yeah, we're going to basically rebuild all the seals in the doors here, the scrapers, inner, outer, the vent wing seals and stuff like that. So yeah, that's kind of the other big-ish item for this car. So yeah, we'll probably have this car for a couple weeks maybe or so. But anyway, that is what happened around here today, guys, other than Renee getting like that close to painting the crusty Carmen Ghia, the 68 Carmen Ghia. We're talking about spraying paint on that car maybe like Friday. So super, super excited about that. It's been kind of a long road because that car was so bad as far as the rust and the number of little accidents and stuff that it had been in. Tons of Bondo, tons of rust on that car. So yeah, looking forward to getting that 68 Ghia in color. Anyway, guys, that is it for today. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye.